Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here and welcome back to another Destiny video. And in today's video, I want to talk about a potential new Crucible mode called Crimson Doubles. If you guys do enjoy this video, then a like would be super appreciated. Drop your support down below. I do appreciate Destiny is super dry right now, but if you're still hanging in there, then hit that like button. Anyway, this picture here popped up on NeoGAF yesterday. It's of course a potato photo, someone taking a photo with their camera of the screen on PSN, but this person here, despite the blurred out first name, is Lars Bakken, who, as some of you guys may know, is one of the Crucible designers at Bungie, and he's playing in a private test build in the Crucible on a mode called Crimson Doubles. Now, to give you guys some context, Bungie use this private test build anytime they want to try something out before it hits the public. It's not the first time we've seen this. You know, in the past, before like expansions have come out, we've seen Bungie employees or Bungie testers playing in the private test build, trying out different things. So this isn't some sort of fake that people have cooked up. This is actually Lars himself playing in the private test build. Now, some of you guys might think to yourself, well, if they're doing this, why don't they hide it? And the important thing to note is that they have different types of test builds. Like, for example, when I've been invited over to Bungie before to capture things, they have an internal server where, of course, you can test things inside and nobody outside the building can see. But you then get to the point where you do, say, retail testing, where you test things in like a real-world scenario or a real-world environment, and that is this private test build here. So, of course, if it gets to the point where they are trying something out in this build, then it means they're not necessarily trying to hide it, and they have mentioned in Bungie updates before. They've even told us that this is what they use to test things out. So, the question remains, what is Crimson Doubles? Well, Doubles itself is a 2v2 mode. It was actually added a while back. We've had it in Destiny before. We've had like Inferno Doubles and just sort of like a Doubles playlist. It's a rotational one. It comes and goes, but it is basically 2v2, so kind of like the old school sort of like team doubles in Halo or something like that. But either way, it was a pretty cool mode. It wasn't necessarily one of sort of like the massive popular ones, but I definitely did enjoy it, especially kind of if you got like a buddy to play with. It can be quite a lot of fun. However, this is not regular doubles. This is Crimson Doubles. And of course, we haven't seen the word Crimson before. So the question is, what could it be? We of course know that in the Destiny universe, Bungie like to kind of like tack on different words to sort of like infer different things. So for example, we've had like Inferno before and different things like that. So assuming for a second that Crimson isn't just like a code name, then it's most likely a different type of mode. But again, the question remains, what could this be? I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any ideas, but I do have a couple of theories myself. The ideal scenario, the one that I would really like to see, but let's be honest, it's probably not going to happen, would be private matches. If Crimson was the name for sort of private, then if you could have like private team doubles, that would be super cool. But I think this is honestly very unlikely, simply because if they were going to roll out private matches, they wouldn't roll it out as just like private doubles. They would more than likely roll it out as a private list or a private kind of like mode where you can select your mode and then do whatever you want. So whether you want to do like private control, private clash, you get the idea. So as much as I would love to see private matches, I don't think that's what it's going to be. Alternatively, something else that's slightly more believable is that it is simply a modified playlist. So again, kind of like Inferno or kind of like some of the other modifiers we've had before, this could be something else. Alternatively, what would be really cool, and again, probably not going to happen, would be like a no exotics playlist, because while the game is fun, I remember back in the alpha days when people had like the basic weapons, they had no exotics, they had nothing like that, no fancy weapons, and it was just really good fun. So like a no exotic playlist would be super cool, but again, that's probably unlikely, so we can put that on the maybe pile. Alternatively, another third idea could be, assuming for a second that Crimson is related to the color, related to health, what if Crimson was a no shield mode? Kind of like SWAT in Halo, so it's like super quick time to kill, and it's kind of like the old school team doubles, SWAT mode and whatnot. That could be really cool. Alternatively, it could be really annoying, especially if you pair in things like supers. SWAT's actually probably one of my favorite modes in Halo. It's definitely something that I would like to see a version of in Destiny, but again, that is just speculation. The other thought is that it could be tied to this potential upcoming event, The Dawning. I did a video on it a little while ago. If you guys missed out, I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below. But the theory is that could be the event that we're going to see coming in February. And if that's the case, then it could well be there's some sort of Crucible hook, and upon partaking in Crucible matches, it then gives you rewards for The Dawning. Again, this is all speculation. This all derives simply from the image that you see on screen. We simply saw Lars himself playing in the Crucible doubles, and that is all we have to go on. So with that being said, I don't really want to sort of like carry on theory crafting, because I could go on for ages. I could say it could be things like no supers, it could be things like primary only, I don't know. Either way, let me know in the comments down below if you guys have got ideas of what you would like it to be. But for the time being, just wanted to give you guys a super quick heads up that this is something we might see coming to Destiny in the not too distant future. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching. Again, if you guys did enjoy the video, then a like would be super appreciated. And take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.